You are interesting because as a man who has admitted in the past that until 2 weeks before principal photography on Saturday Night Fever, you'd never been in a disco in your life. Before War Games, you weren't exactly a computers analyst expert. One thinks of what you learned technologically in Blue Thunder and what high-tech skills you and the brilliant futuristic designer Sid Mead have brought to Short Circuit. I'm also just being reminded, saying that to you, that during American Flyers, you were more than a filmmaker. You were out there cycling like a madman for weeks so that you would be someone who appreciated what your actors were going through. Maybe one of the reasons actors speak so highly of you.
Well, here with Short Circuit, we're dealing with robotics. And I thought I knew something about robotics, but of course as I started reading books, and we went to Japan, to Tsukuba, to see the big exposition in Japan.
You and Sid Mead.
And Sid Mead. Both of us went and were looking at it. I realized how little I knew and how much there was to learn and how relatively primitive the state of the art of robotics is compared to what human beings can do, and how far they had to go, and how probably our movie was going to create a robot that was maybe 50 to 100 years ahead of the state of the art. And it began to tell me something about how complicated human beings are, how much harder it is than we think. The public perception of robots is that they can do all of these amazing things, but they're still fairly limited. And there's a lot of experimentation, you know, in Japan and the United States with something called artificial intelligence, getting robots to perform on their own, totally independently of human beings. We're a long way off from that.
I am curious, why after War Games and working with Ali Sheedy, you put the actors in the position of 3 auditions and a screen test for Short Circuit?
That picture was done, say, 3 years ago. And people change. And as we started to discuss the actress who would play the lead opposite our robot, we thought we better talk to everybody. And I kept having Ali test again because I didn't want to be in the position of having a conflict of interest, of them saying, oh, he just wants her because he worked with her before. I wanted her to be able to have a test that we could show to everybody that would convince them beyond the shadow of a doubt that no matter what I thought, that she was the perfect person for it. And she proved it. I mean, she just would act circles around everybody else.
After Fisher Stevens auditioned for you, you and your screenwriters made the decision that his character would change and become Indian, specifically Hindu. Why?
Well, this is one of the most suicidal things that a director can do. You hire an actor because you think he's kind of good and got a wonderful comic ability, and then suddenly ask him to do something totally different. I mean, I had no idea if he could play Indian or whatever we're saying he is. I don't know that we ever specified the country. But when I called him up and told him that, you could hear a pause on the other end of the line, like I had just told him his family had been killed. It was just, oh my gosh. And he was scared to death to do it. But then he got excited as he got into it and realized that we were creating a character that was very funny, that had a wonderful sense of humor, and was much more interesting than the original character that we had started with. And he had a great time doing it.
So now I am having no...
You know, one of the things you talked about at the time of Blue Thunder was your strong belief in the value, importance of previews. As a matter of fact, you had one preview of Blue Thunder and you came back after it and took out a very elaborate, complicated action sequence. You have also had previews of Short Circuit. What did the previews on Short Circuit result in?
Well, Short Circuit is a comedy, and comedies need audiences to tell you what's funny and what's not. Sometimes you think something is funny and they think it's dumb. Or they'll find something funny that never occurred to you. So it's very important to see how they react to the comedic moments and where you're getting laughs maybe that you shouldn't be getting laughs. You can get those wrong kind of laughs too, and you know right away, standing in the audience, you can hear the laughter and know, something's wrong here, we're doing something wrong. So we had 3 previews of the film and various stages. Right when I first cut the film together and had no sound effects and no music, we took it out and played the whole film. And then came back and made a lot of adjustments and changes based on that. Take a joke out here, take this out. This is getting boring. You can hear them getting restless. So that by the second time, you think, well, we solved all those problems. Well, no, there were a couple more that crop up. And by the third time, we were in pretty good shape.
It's almost 30 years since Forbidden Planet and Robbie the Robot, and the kind of phenomenon that was created at that time at MGM with Forbidden Planet, and how Robbie the Robot went out on tours for the next 30 years. And Anne Francis was remembered as the actress who'd been opposite Walter Pidgeon with the robot. We think of what happened with Bruce Dern in Silent Running and his companion, up to R2-D2. It's amazing what you, Sid Mead, and all of the men and women who worked on the creation of those robots have done. And without spoiling the film for the people watching this, I must tell you, you have created one of the more unique menage-a-trois in film history. One can't wait to see what happens next. Will there be a next?
I hope there will be a next. We're already at work on a sequel, and think that people will want to see number 5 again. It would be a shame to just put him away somewhere and not let him out into the world.
We know he wouldn't allow it, John.
Oh, no, he would just get out and leave.
He'd disconnect all of us.
Yes.
I've enjoyed being with you.
Oh, I enjoyed talking to you.
Pleasure.